Good morning across the Fader family. This is Nate Jenkins. Welcome to Politicking Our Way. Well, of course, we've been away a while, a good while, almost a year to this day, almost exactly. And the reason being was twofold. One, I got tired of being part of that media circus that had Donald Trump being the topic of the day's excitement and validating all of his moves, innuendos, and those damn tweets from the toilet. So I figured I'd back out until I had something constructive to say, something that had some fervor. But first, let me put the disclaimer out. Nothing that I say, suggest, or anything in this content for this time that we're together are the thoughts of off the rack, across the fader.us, or any of our affiliates. They are solely the thoughts and context coming right out of this little head right here, Nate Jenkins. So let's get back to that. Alright, so I was told when I was a young kid, if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing. So I've been saying nothing because I had nothing good to say. If you're a follower of this show, you know that the power of the vote has always been the thing that most resonated in most of my messages. Get out the vote, get out the vote. Lately you've seen what happened. Let me read you this little tidbit. Thought of the day. Everything happens when it's supposed to. Never be impatient, just be ready. If it has not happened, it means you're not as ready as you think you are. Trust God and be patient. So I've been patient. I've been patient with Donald Trump. I've been patient with America to kind of get their head out the sand, to come around to the fact that we made a bad choice in that last populist presidential election. So let's look what's been happening with Donald outside of all of that media parade, outside of all the naysayers, outside of all that commotion. You know, he made a statement that he's passed more laws and actions since he's been in the White House than any other president. Of course, he's lying. He does that quite often. Today, lying is just an alternative reality, as our children are learning. So be very, very careful with that term. The alternative reality is a damn lie, okay? Let's look at the status of Trump right now. He's a failure. He's a failure as a president. He's a failure as a leader of our social consciousness. He's probably a failure in the bedroom, but I'm not going to go there. But I've seen his wife kind of smack his hand away a few times when they were on the tarmac away from the plane. So I think he's a failure there. He's definitely been a failure in the national political scene. Okay, let's look at it. Healthcare. He wanted to repeal Obamacare. He didn't think healthcare was so difficult. That's because the idiot never even took a chance to find out what healthcare entailed. It's entwined into everything. It's entwined into our budget, our taxes, and the like. So repealing Obamacare, that's crazy, okay? And what had happened was, we ended up probably affecting more of the poor whites than it affected any of the minorities that he thought he was going to be snatching healthcare away from. So, didn't work. Tax reform. They came out with a tax reform plan that was heavily loaded with entitlements and perks for the rich, thinking that we're going to have this trickle-down effect. Well, guess what? Ain't nobody ever trickled down nothing. You give me $1 and expecting to give my kids 10 cents of it? Good luck, kids. Not going to happen. Dad ain't trickling down the goddamn thing. So, when you give those big corporations billions and billions of dollars of tax breaks and the like, and you think they're going to reinvest? No, they're not. They're going to give it to the stockholders with a little bit they give them, and the rest are going to go into their pattern lifestyles, the life of the rich and famous. All he's passed is 80 plus executive orders. He has not sent anything of relevance through the House of Congress, either the Senate or the House of Representatives. They can't get their acts together. What he's done is come in as a late board Republican on that Republican train. He came in late. Remember, he wasn't a Republican a few years ago. He's got on that train, he and Steve Bannon, listening to this disheveled, drunken looking redneck, and they've derailed the Republican Party. Basically, they put a fork in the middle of it and said, you guys who are conservative and right-wingers go over here, everybody else over here. And they decided to take a little bit that they had left of the Tea Party and try to explode it onto the political scene. Oh, it worked because he had them afraid. As I instructed you guys earlier, they were afraid, and still some are afraid, but the tide is changing in both houses of Congress, because the midterm elections are due up. And he had those under great extortion saying, you better roll with me because you know the only people who vote in the midterm election is that angry white guy. They're the only guys who vote. And until that changes, I got you by the short and curlies, and you got to do what I say and be on my page. And so the Republicans have been saying, hey, we got to roll with this dude because guess what? We want to remain in our seats. So let's look at all the bad advice he's getting. Initially, he wasn't for Roy Moore in Alabama. The RNC kind of stayed away from Roy Moore in Alabama. But then Steve Bannon looked at Alabama and said, hey, Trump, we won that state. Handily. It's totally red. You can do no wrong in Alabama. Jump on in there and back Luther Strange. Strange lost to Moore. That seat became more important than the moral fiber of this country. It became more important than what you and I teach our children is right is wrong. What the congressional statement, which we call the Constitution, states right to wrong in regards to personal space, sexual conduct, things of that nature. Having people as our leaders facing serious allegations, like Mr. Roy Moore. But putting all that aside, the Republicans decided, hey, to get this tax reform thing done, we need that seat. It's too tight. We 52-48 in the Senate. We need to sway that thing to 53, keep it the way it is, or anything of that nature. So they were going to sell us out for a damn tax reform bill. But the voters in Alabama, roll tide, I thought I'd never say that, but roll tide this morning. Thank you, Charles Barkley, Cory Booker, and the other guys that got behind Doug Jones. Thank you, Omarosa, Mr. Trump's only true black friend who was in charge of communications and getting the vote out for the Republicans down in Alabama. Thank you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, take a page from the Moors. When his wife stepped up and said, we do have Jewish friends. We're not anti-Semitic. Our lawyer is a Jew. Or when you hear people say a Jew or a black, I got a black friend. Be very careful around those people because when you tie all of your eggs into the basket of one friend and they drop that damn basket, scrambled eggs is what you got. You know what I mean? A bunch of shells. So today, Miss Omarosa, she's fired. She's out of the White House. Why? I believe, and a lot like me believe, that it was her duty to help assist in keeping the black vote either reduced or over to the Republican way in regards to Roy Moore in Alabama. Guess what? Smarter minds prevail. Charles Barkley said, don't be an idiot. Don't sell the state down. Doug Jones said Alabama is at a fork and they finally took the right road from that fork. I agree, America. But what it showed is what I've been saying for a while, is that if we turn out in great numbers during the midterm election, not only will we change the tide of our political direction, as it just happened in Virginia, and it's now happening in Alabama, it happened in New Jersey. We're sending a message to those people at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue that your little hold on that pubic hair that's short and curly in both houses of Congress is now slipping away. You want to get rid of Donald? You talking about impeachment? The only way that the Republicans are going to have enough heart to stand up to this sexual predator, the one who grabs the pussy, if you want to look at this new Me Too campaign, okay, you're looking at a guy who, in that Me Too campaign, we're losing folks. Matt Lauer, Harvey Weinstein, just to name a few of the prominent folks within our daily lives. That's movie and early morning news. But Donald Trump is still surviving. Why? Why haven't they come up with a targeted audience that would say, he's a sexual predator? Those were all innuendos. Roy Moore was all people saying, I accuse him of this. Okay? But in Donald Trump's case, He raised his hand and said, "Tag, I'm it." I grabbed him by the pussy. I slammed my mouth on him and kissed him without their permission because I'm a celebrity and I can do that. But that celebrity now is the leader of the free world. Well, I guess he was the leader of the free world. According to Miss Merkel over in Germany, she's now the leader of the free world because we abandoned that one when we allowed this idiot to take the seat. So now let's look at some of the international stuff. We looking at North Korea. They talking about going to war with a poor-ass blackout country. If you fly over North Korea at night, you'll see a few little trickles of light because they don't have the power to generate light throughout the country overnight. We're not afraid of little rocket man, as what Donald Trump calls him, but what we are afraid of is the rhetoric that's going to push little rocket man into a corner where he's going to put a nuclear warhead on one of those little fake ass missiles and he's going to hit something. If it hits anything on earth, it's going to change the scale of all of us and our livelihoods around the world because of the way it works. Catch a good wind in the Pacific, it's down in LA. We got some radiation fallout. You know, it's crazy when people don't understand that the things they do affect everybody. Remember, every little thing you do sets up every little thing you do. Take that home with you from Nate Jenkins at Politicking Our Way. So let's look again at that power of the vote. As I stated before, in Alabama, it showed up. The power of the vote. You know, Malcolm X once said, the ballot or the bullet. That's how we're going to make this country move. Either they're going to give us the ballot or we'll be ready to face the bullets. Here's the thing. We've been taking pot shots and bullets forever. It's time for us to turn around and stop trying to fight a war that we're not equipped to win. Right now, our biggest and best cannon to knock folks down and get what we want isn't a ballot. It's irrefutable. They can't stop us. They can jury rig, meander, move lines, make caucuses different. They can hold us back from making it difficult for us to vote, but we got to do what they did back in the 60s. Our good civil rights predecessors. They fought dogs, water hoses, and things so they can have the right and the power to vote. How dare us not take the opportunity as African Americans, as United States citizens of all creed and color, all sexual indications, to get our asses up out the chair on that day, spend an hour in the fucking line, whatever. You spend more time in the line at Starbucks to get a goddamn cafe than you would to cast a vote that would change your life and the lives of folks coming behind you. So get out of one line and get into the other. Get into the movement. Contact your local representatives. Find out what the hell you can do. You don't like those potholes? Call somebody. Do something about it. Spend a day in their chair. Shoot some emails. Hell, stop getting off the internet while you're at work shopping. Send an email to your local representatives and let them know how you feel. Let them know that you're out there. The ballot is where our power is, man. Look at what happened in Alabama. Look at New Jersey. Look at Virginia. The tide is changing, ladies and gentlemen. You better get your ass on board or the train will leave the station without you. Remember when good old friends like Marvin Gaye and a few other our soul brothers used to say back in the 60s, get on board. It's a train that's coming. You don't need no ticket. Just get your ass on board. Your ticket's been paid for by the strife, the injuries, the murders, that strange fruit in the South. All those bodies burning and hanging from the trees, ladies and gentlemen. Our tickets have been paid for and punched. Get your ass on the political train and make some difference. Midterm elections. You got few coming up now, and 2018 is definitely the time to get out there and do it. Then we got it again in 2020. Let's get prepared. Don't wait till the day of election and go try to make a choice. Get politically motivated right now. Get your ass in gear. Get about the chair. Because look what they're doing with the Russian thing with Mueller's investigation. Right now, Trump is running scared. His whole cabinet is running scared. Mueller is inside the White House. They pulling people out. They starting to look at some folks. Hope Hicks. Look what they did with Michael Flynn. George Stephanopoulos, whatever the hell his name is. One of those Greek names. I'm sorry, George, if I bastardized your name. But look what they did to him. They flipped him. And what do? They started calling him a coffee maker, a water boy. Really? Trying to discredit his comments and his deposition to Mueller's investigation. Let's look at the House of Cards. It's starting to crumble. And that house is at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. All that shit starting to fall down all around Trump's feet. Okay? We talking about Jared Kushner being his son-in-law, one of his closest advisors, being the main culprit in all that collusion activity with Russia. You know why? Because Jared Kushner is no more than a junior Donald Trump. He's looking for ways and means to make more money. He's looking for banks to solidify deals in Russia for power plants, all that stuff. You know, you got to understand it's about the money for these guys. See, we'll vote them in, but once they get up on 16th Street, once they get on Congress, once they get in that Capitol Hill, all they worried about is them damn selves. Unfortunately, those are the people who have the money to run for office, pay for all these campaigns out of their own pocket, get their comrades to donate. But what happens is, like what Barack did, he got a lot of us normal people involved. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 donations. Make us a part of the political process. I suggest you join a party, make your little $5, $10 donation, save some of that Starbucks money. Sorry, Starbucks, no indication against you. A lot of people like you, so this may be a shameless plug for you. But get out of that goddamn line. Stop buying that company. 19 cents a day to feed some kid over in Africa somewhere, which that never happened. By the way, that's just some propaganda bullshit to get you out the chair and spend 19 cents a day. But if you take that same 10 cent of that 19 cent and turn it into a little contribution every month to the DNC, I guarantee you the numbers will go off the chart. We'll have people sitting in places and seats in the Congress, the House of Representatives, and the Senate that makes sense for us, the normal Americans, the little people. Let's talk about that Mueller investigation, because today on Capitol Hill, the Republicans are asking for a again, let's look at that Mueller investigation, man. They're asking for a special prosecutor and a new investigation to investigate the special prosecutor who's investigating. Yeah, he's had some missteps. He had a couple of FBI agents that weren't Trumpers. Okay, who the hell is? The statements that they're trying to talk about happened in emails and communication between these agents that were on Mueller's staff prior to the election of Donald Trump. Now, during the election and during the debates, we all thought he was an asshole. We all saw him hovering over Hillary like a predator that he is. I'm glad he didn't grab her pussy on national television, but we learned on national television that he does grab pussies. Fortunate enough for Hillary Clinton, she's not one of the beautiful ones, sorry Hillary, that he mentioned. You know, I wouldn't touch those girls, they weren't cute enough. But he ran a couple of pageants where he went into the background while they were changing, just so he could see more pussy. You know, because he got a little fetish with pussies, I'm sorry. I ain't mad at him about that, by the way. But let's look at this, man. These Republicans, why are they trying to spend more of our tax dollars to discredit an investigation by Mueller, who they thought a staunch Republican was a stand-up guy who would turn around and put the evidence on the table that exonerated the Trump campaign and everybody associated with it. But this dude is a career government agent. He is out today, Elliot Ness, taking no mess, going and kick down the door, waving the fofo, all of that. Mueller. Get that ass, Mueller. And be smart enough on Capitol Hill today doing that investigation to know that Virginia, New Jersey, and now Alabama have shown you guys that Donald Trump's grip on your short and curlies ain't that damn strong no more. Stand up and do what's right for the people of the United States and tell them we don't need an investigation of the investigators. We need to let this investigation go through its courses, charge those who need to be charged, and set up that good old impeachment of that orange orangutan that's now occupying that seat at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Thanks for hanging around, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nate Jenkins with Politicking Our Way.